Hi, I'm Mike Marino, and this is a brand new episode of Live from My Mother's Basement. Welcome to another edition of Live from My Mother's Basement. This episode is actually being filmed in my studio in North Hollywood, California. And it's been quite some time since I've seen this gentleman. This gentleman has been in my life since I started stand-up comedy, which is true.
Yes.
All the way here in California. This is Jeremy Gray, my man.
Good to see you, Mike Moreno.
Good to see you, man.
AKA Dr. J. Lamar Gray.
Oh, you want to take it from here?
Yes. I'm Dr. J. Lamar Gray, host of the Strictly Business Show, the sexiest business show in the world, on New HD Los Angeles, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m., and a weekly show Sundays at 6 a.m. 7 a.m.
Dude,
You gave my legal name.
You did. I'm not supposed to do that.
No, not my legal name.
You don't want nobody knowing who you are or where you are.
Where I am right now.
He's Italian.
Yes.
All right, man. We go way back, everybody. Really, really far back in the day when I first started doing stand-up comedy. Everybody thinks I cut my teeth as a comic in New Jersey. I didn't.
You didn't?
It was here, man.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, with you.
You came to L.A.?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't even know where I was. That's
You was Compton.
Yes. Some bad neighborhoods. All your fault.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, have you been watching that whole big thing with Cat Williams?
Yes.
I could have sworn Cat Williams I met because of you, right?
Yes.
Cat in the Hat.
Cat in the Hat.
When he showed up with his little scooter,
Yes.
the shopping cart.
I remember, you want a quick Cat in the Hat story?
Go.
Okay. I first met Cat, when he's Cat in the Hat, in front of, you remember our friend Larry Lala?
I remember
Larry
everybody.
Lala. Larry Lala had a show called at Eminem's Soul Food Place in Inglewood. And I went there, and he was sitting in his car, he said, with another comedian. At the time was Cat in the Hat. He introduced me to Cat. I got in the back. The show hadn't started yet. People are still coming in. And they start smoking a doobie. Now, I don't smoke doobies. I drank. And then a cop car rolled by. I said, man, y'all need to put that away. And then Cat says, man, that cop better not mess with me. I'm taking my medication, man. That's all I'm doing. And that's how I met Cat in the Hat. The cop didn't stop. We didn't get busted. But then we had him on the comedy show, and that's when you met him at Hollywood Park Casino.
Yup.
That's where you met him, yeah.
Yup.
And he was funny then. And now he's extremely funny.
Megastar.
Yeah.
He's the best. And when I watched what he was doing on that podcast, Club Shay Shay, I'm like, you go, Cat. You go.
Yeah. Because a lot of people, they hated on Cat when he became successful. That's what this is about.
Yeah.
When he started blowing up, people were like, well, why him? Why him? And so there was a lot of haters out there about Cat. And he's done extremely well. So that's what that was about. Now, I don't know why he's lashing out now. But I can understand it. But people did hate on him when he first started being successful.
I don't think it's just him. As people hate on everybody who becomes successful. They'd rather you didn't become successful so they could just be on the same level as you. But when people start blowing up, man, you get some enemies.
Yeah. Especially in this business, show business.
Show business, man. You know what this is like.
That's why I don't succeed, because I don't want nobody hating on me.
Yeah.
I'm going to fail so everybody will love me.
You guys are going to love this interview because this is going to be some stories that you might not even believe, but they're true. Like what he just said about Cat. Because when I tell people about how I met Cat in the Hat, and they called him Cat in the Hat at that time, they're like, you never knew him. I'm like, no, actually, I used to see all of them in certain areas where the comedy clubs in those areas don't even exist anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
And they might not have been the right areas for a cat like me to go back at that time, but I went because I knew you, and you were like, you got to come here. Yeah. And that's how I met all, let's say, these urban comedians, to put it in a nice way.
Now. Did you meet J.B. Smooth before?
Yeah, man. Don't you? I didn't even think Kevin Hart used to go down there. And, well, I don't know about Scruncho anymore, but I mean, he was fucking funny as shit.
Scruncho is still doing his thing.
Yeah.
I could tell a story about Scruncho. I'm not going to tell.
Why not?
Scruncho actually was having it because it's about another person, a woman, who's on television now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, hey.
That Scruncho was having a bit of a thing with. And if I said her name, you'd be like, no way, no way.
Well, then tell me when the show's
I'm
over,
not going to
because I
take
got to know who this is.
We'll get sued. You'll get sued.
All right, well, then we'll learn about it later. Let's go back in time. Where are you originally from?
Compton.
Are you?
Compton. CPT.
Really?
Compton in the 80s. And why are you so surprised? You know that.
I don't know. I didn't know you were from Compton. To Claremont.
I don't look like the typical brother from Compton, but I grew up in Compton. The first 14 years of my life, then I escaped. At 15, my parents thought that I had two older sisters who went to Compton High School. Both my parents went to school in Compton. They went to Centennial High School. So my dad said, you're my only son. I got to get you out of here. Now, I didn't know at the time my mother and father were going through problems. They're actually on the way to get a divorce.
Right.
But they didn't tell me that. So they just moved me out to Colton, California. You know where Colton is?
No.
Nobody does. Colton is right next to San Bernardino, and I went to Colton High School. Best experience of my life. The first time I ever saw a white guy up close.
Really?
Close. Other than my doctor.
This is fucking great. Other than his doctor.
Other than my doctor.
That's fucked up. For everybody who's watching, if you don't know, Compton, California is predominantly black.
Black. Didn't used to be. Used to be white.
Wasn't Compton himself a white man?
I don't know about that.
No. I did some history on Compton, and supposedly he was a white farmer.
That could be.
Way back in the day.
When it was called the Hub City. And Duke Snyder went to Compton High School.
Right.
Yeah, back in the day. So yeah, that's probably true. You know my history more than I do.
But your time at Compton, it was a bad neighborhood, right?
Well, not, I grew up in the 80s where you had bad people, but I went to school at a time where everybody had a dad.
Right.
Everybody was working. I was middle class and I didn't know it.
Right.
I was one of those kids that actually had to pay for my lunch. My mom would send me an envelope every week to give to the cafeteria, and the other kids would make fun of me. You got to pay for your lunch. And I go home and tell my mom, why do I have to pay for my lunch? She said, because me and your daddy make too much money. Get out my face. And because that was a time they asked for your parents' financial records when you went to school.
Wow.
So my dad worked at General Motors, and my mom worked at McDonnell Douglas / Boeing as an aircraft worker. And I should call Boeing and say, hey, listen, this is when my mom worked there, since your planes are screwing up. The doors are flying off. I said, man, maybe some of the planes my mom worked on. So you should probably take them off the line. But that's what I had, a middle class upbringing, and everybody had a mother and father I knew about. The biggest threat was in school, I'm gonna call your dad. So,
no shit.
Yeah, everybody had a dad. So all this bullshit, fathers were around. Now you had gangs and whatnot, but for the most part, back in the 80s, it wasn't that you knew not certain parks not to go to.
Yeah.
You know, certain gang members around. And let me tell you a funny story. My dad was a businessman. He left General Motors and started his own trucking company. I didn't know it at the time, but my dad would hire some of the worst guys to work for him. And he would pay them to look out for me when I was walking home. I didn't know that till I got older.
Oh, no shit.
My dad had these rough guys and gang members, because I would walk by gang members or drug guys, and they would say, that's little Jesse, that's little Jesse. My dad's name was Jesse. And they wouldn't fuck with me. And I didn't know why.
You were connected.
I learned later my dad was connected, and my dad was paying these guys, that's my son, you look out for him, make sure he comes home.
No shit.
No shit. So that's why I made it out alive.
Your father's more of a wise guy than my father.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy shit.
Because they knew my dad was hiring guys and putting money in their pocket. And that's what he had, people looking out for me, and I didn't even know that later.
What'd your father do? He had the extra cash.
Well, he was very successful. He was in the demolition business. He had trucks, dump trucks. He had tractors.
You sure you're not Italian?
I know, right? He buried people occasionally. And my dad was a hustler, so that's what he did. So he was very successful.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, he worked at all the major studios. He worked for actors in Hollywood, tearing down houses, building up swimming pools and stuff like that. So a lot of buildings in downtown LA, my dad did the footing for those buildings.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you were in high school and stuff, when did you decide that maybe you'd like to be in show business? You'd like to be a director, a writer, a creator of projects and
I
stuff.
didn't.
You didn't?
I didn't know that until after I left high school. I always knew I was into show business, but no one supported that. If you're from Compton, my parents were middle class, so they're like, you got to get a job. You got to go to college.
Right.
So I could never tell my kids, I want to be an actor. That's stupid. So I left high school. I should have been in the theater department. Now I know, looking back, I should have gotten a theater. But when I left high school and became a young adult, I said, my dad wanted me to go to school for engineering so I can be an architect. I sucked at math. I never would have fucking made it. So, but when I got to a community college called Chaffey College, they had a broadcasting section. And I said, oh, there's a TV studio, a radio station. And I said, I really want to do this. So I talked to my dad. I said, Dad, I'm not feeling the engineering thing. I think I want to do broadcasting. And he said, I don't care as long as you can make a living at it. Right. I should have got the hint right there.
So you wanted to be a radio person?
I wanted to be radio originally.
Right.
And I got into broadcasting and television, all those different things. And then all of a sudden, I don't know how I got into filmmaking. My first job ever was I was a DJ in a Christian radio station. Praise the Lord.
Praise him.
True. KTSJ AM 1220, your Christian connection for the Southland.
Right.
I did that for 2 years. Me and the owner, and I had this owner guy, his name was John Boyd. He's probably dead now. He used to bounce checks like it was nothing.
Oh,
right?
Wow.
We used to have to, on payday, we'd have to run, get your check, and run to the bank. And whoever got to the bank last didn't get their check cashed. So... Oh, you got to the bank last. Sorry about that. So it was a sprint. Then I worked there for 2 years. And then the owner and I got into a fight about something. He asked me to do something. I said no. He said, fuck you. I said, fuck you back. Whatever. Dr. John Boyd. Now I'm Dr. J. He's Dr. John Boyd. And I left there. Then I ended up working in LA for KMPC. You ever heard of that? KMPC was one of the oldest radio stations at the time. Guys like Robert W. Morgan worked there, a bunch of old DJs. And I started working there and became a engineer for the oldies station. So I'm like this 19-year-old kid from Compton playing oldies music.
Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't fit.
Doesn't fit. Like Frank Sinatra and all these old people, like just old stuff. Before there was oldies.
Dean Martin.
Gary Owens, isn't it? You remember Gary Owens?
Yeah.
I used to work with Gary Owens.
You're kidding.
Yes. Gary Owens worked there. Mr. Radio Personality.
No
Very
shit.
nice man. No shit. And
he's got to be gone, huh?
And he's gone. Jim Healy, there's a guy by the name of Jim Healy that has a star on the Walk of Fame there. Anyway, here's this 19-year-old black kid walking around these 70, 60-year-old men. These old white men who are legends and I didn't even know they were legends.
Yeah, right?
So that's how I got my start in radio and engineering, doing voice work and everything like that. And for some reason, I ended up going into filmmaking. I didn't know at the time that was probably my path, a solid path for me. But for some reason, I watched Do the Right Thing, the movie with Spike Lee.
Right.
And all of a sudden, I said, I'd like to try filmmaking. And that's how I got into filmmaking, independent filmmaking.
Yes, very independent.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
But Jeremy, also, the way we met, I guess we met when I was teaching traffic school, right?
You were teaching traffic school at the time.
I used to teach comedy traffic school, which was a thing back in the 90s, where if you got a speeding ticket, you had to go to a traffic safety course. You could go watch a comedian teach the class who supposedly made it funny. Since I was from New Jersey, it was one of the dumbest things I ever heard, but I needed the money, so I was teaching the class, and I met a lot of people, and that's the way we met. And I guess that's when you said to me, hey, I'm going to put on some comedy shows. Did you want to be part of it? And I can't really remember exactly where we were, but I remember being the only white guy for miles.
Well, I don't remember where we were either. I started promoting comedy clubs with another mutual friend of ours because we thought that was the way to raise money to make independent movies.
Right.
That's the only reason we did it. It wasn't a love for comedy. No.
Shit.
It wasn't a love for comedy.
I thought you were a big-time talent coordinator.
Give a crap about comedy. And then we wanted, and that's what we tried to get JB Smooth. I met JB Smooth in Long Beach because I thought I was going to try to get him on the show. And funny as hell, but I thought he was kind of like just really weird. Never thought this dude would blow up like what he's blown up. But he was funny then. But it was like, it's funny to see a guy like that now. I saw that guy when he was first doing his stuff, and now he's just amazing now. And I see why, because he did stand out. But that's why we started doing comedy clubs and promoting. And that's how we met. And unfortunately, that did not work.
Well, you could lose money when you put a show together.
We did lose money. We lost a lot of money because we didn't know what we were doing. But eventually, we finally pulled some resources together, and we were able to produce a film called, it was initially called His and Hers.
Right.
Which was, we asked you to be a part of.
Well, before we get to the movie His and Hers, which is a great story. No. Tell everybody if you could remember some of the names of the comics that you were putting on stage at the time. Because some of them, like Cat Williams, did go on to be a superstar.
Sergio Love. Okay, now here's a black comedian. Nobody really knew where he was from. His name really isn't Sergio Love. It's something completely different. What?
We couldn't even find him now if we tried. He's not on Facebook. He's not on social media. He might not even be around.
He'd be buried in the desert.
But I do remember Sergio. He always had this big smile on his face, and he used to rap. He would hold his ear and do that Indian song, and I used to see him at the Comedy Store all the time. So he was badass. Sergio Love. Who else?
Wheels Parisi.
Well, Wheels Parisi was on my last podcast last Tuesday. We're still friends.
He's lost some weight.
Wheels, he did. Lost a lot of weight. Nice Italian comedian from New York. Who else?
George Lovin Jackson.
George Lovin Jackson.
He wasn't very... No, George was cool. He's still around. He made a few TV appearances on the show Girlfriend. And that was it. Larry Lala emceed it. Larry Lala's doing some stuff across the street from down the road.
He's here in L.A.
What's this across from Ha-Ha's?
Comedy Chateau.
Across from Ha-Ha's?
Yeah.
He's got a show there.
Me too.
Oh, you didn't know? Oh.
Tonight.
Did you know that?
No.
Oh, yeah. He's there
I haven't
weekly.
seen Larry Lala in years, man. That is hilarious.
Then you and Scruncho and...
All right, so this guy was the guy Scruncho. He used to come out and do the craziest shit. He was all over the place.
It was comedy for gangbangers. That's what it was.
Yeah, but he used to talk about getting laid all the time, and it was hilarious. I remember when he used to take the stool and pretend that he was banging it, and then he shot it up in the air. It was the dumbest thing, but it was fucking hilarious. Yo, what's up, Mike? Mike!
Yeah.
What's up, though?
Yeah. He was a very funny guy. He was a talented guy. But I don't know what he's doing now.
I wonder why they called him Scruncho.
I know who he's doing, but I'm not going to say that.
All right.
But so we did that, and and we were able to recruit a lot of the guys on that, Larry Lala, to do the first film, which eventually was known as Shacked Up.
Right.
An independent film with the late, great David Arnold.
Well, here's how this came to be. I guess I was the only white guy in the movie, but we were friends, and we like each other.
I think you were.
And he goes,
the only white guy.
I'm getting ready to do this movie. I was just coming off another movie with Pierre. Remember Pierre?
Yeah, Pierre. I remember Pierre.
And me and the other guy were the only white guys in that movie, too. I remember we shot in Compton. They had me dressed like a police officer driving in a police car. And I remember one time the guy goes, "Hey, where the hell Marino go?" And he goes, "Oh, he went down to the 7-Eleven. Dressed like a cop? Get out of here. Are you nuts? Are you nuts?" I'm like, I was hungry.
I wouldn't do that.
You know what's funny, though? Everybody in show business seems to get along really, really well without the race card at all. They're just like, come on, we got to do this, man. We're all for one for all, whatever. So when you were telling me about how you're going to make this project, I'm the one that called David Arnold and said, you need to meet David. He's a great, great actor. He's a great comedian. He was going through a breakup with some girl. I was going through a breakup with some girl, and we were always performing together. So when I told him you were doing this project, I don't know how it happened, but he became the lead in the movie.
I couldn't find anybody for the lead.
Is that right?
We auditioned a bunch of people. We auditioned George Loving Jackson. He didn't work out. what's that comedian named Dannon?
Dan Green.
Dannon Green. We interviewed Dannon Green.
He always has bad
for
breath,
the job.
this guy. I better not say I might have him on my show. Dan Green, what's up, Mike? You're like, damn.
I never got that close to him.
Damn.
That's why we didn't get him in the.
Great comedian, funny as fuck.
Funny guy. He was good. He did a good audition, but he just didn't quite fit it. And that's when I reached out to you. Do you know anybody? And then you sent me David Arnold's picture. He looked like Rick Fox. And
Good looking guy.
Brought him in, and he auditioned with a girl named Karna, and they had instant magic there.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, and then and you know who's in part of the movie too? Kevin Grievous. Our good friend Kevin Grievous.
Oh, that's right. He went on to do major movies.
He is the brain behind the movie Underworld.
That I didn't know.
He wrote the movie Underworld.
Really?
He wrote, even though he didn't get screen credit for it, that's his original story. He knew the director, Lynn. I forget his name, Lynn, the director. And he got bullied out of the original screen credit for it. But that was his story. A black man out of Howard University wrote the Underworld movies. And then he went on the course to write I, Frankenstein with Aaron Eckhart. And he just directed an action sci-fi movie now, and he's doing big things.
We need to call him.
You need to call him. He'll gladly come on your show. He's got a comic book coming out and everything. He'll definitely
Get out
do
of
the show.
here.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
You had some funny scenes with him in Shacked Up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess
wow. What a big dude.
Yeah. So that's how we did it.
Wasn't he
showed
in
up.
Planet of the Apes?
He was in Planet of the Apes, but people think he was a Michael Clark Duncan character. He wasn't. He was just another extra.
Yeah.
You know, they were hiring a gang of brothers for that. Even though it was makeup, why don't you hire a bunch of white guys then? How you gonna hire all the brothers to play apes? It's makeup. You could have put Mike Moreno, could have been an ape. When did you put makeup on him? All of a sudden, get the brothers to play the apes.
Then there would be another complaint. I can't believe you gave him that role. It could have been a woman.
Well, it was a budgeting thing. We have to use less makeup when there's black people playing apes.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up. Can I have that joke?
Yes, absolutely.
I remember I played the landlord.
Mr. Mars.
Yeah, Mr. Mars. And you guys had me all hooked up with the hats and shit. I remember that one scene I was in somebody's house. Where the fuck were we? I couldn't even find that place.
Downey.
Downey?
That was my sister's house. We shot the whole movie in my sister's house.
Oh, wow.
In Downey. And we had a crew of people that were just committed. And you showed up all the time and did your thing. And we got distribution through York Entertainment. So the film was in Blockbuster. You remember Blockbuster?
Blockbuster.
And it's not anymore. And it's on the internet somewhere. You Google Shacked Up. And when David passed away, some people said we should re-release it or something like that. And my hope was, and I think you were going to mediate something with me and David, because unfortunately me and David didn't work together after that for a long time. And we were trying to mediate something where we can come together and probably do a Shacked Up 2. But unfortunately, he passed on.
We're talking about a comedian, David Arnold, who really was brilliant, and he just would not stop in this industry, and he was really on a major rise.
Yes,
I think him and Kevin Hart were hanging out. Yeah. They were working together. He had a new Netflix special. He was getting ready to do another Netflix special. And I think at 53 years old, he had a heart attack and he died. Yeah. I couldn't believe it, dude. What a loss, man.
And I felt bad that we never got a chance to talk again. But we were getting to that point, remember? Yeah. We were talking about doing that and working together
I could have smoothed that shit out. I could have.
We had a little out. We were just young. You know, young, too much ego back in the day. Since then, we both had gotten married at the same time. Yeah. He has 2 daughters, and I have 2 sons, a little bit older than his daughters. So at this time, I really believe that we could have definitely came together and worked again. As a team, all of us. But we didn't get that chance to. Rest in peace, David.
Rest in peace, David Arnold.
No hard feelings at all.
Shit. I remember one of the funniest things on your set, though, was the guy who was your cameraman.
Jason Timmons, who now is a personal trainer and a financial advisor. No. Mike's about to crack on him. Go ahead and see what you're going to say. What's so funny about
one leg, right? How can he be a personal trainer with one leg? He's gym hopping.
He was a walking tripod. That's what he was. No.
Man, I remember this guy had a prosthetic, and there were days where he had to go into a corner and hold the camera this way, and the prosthetic would turn around the other way. I'm like, dude's foot's facing the wrong way.
I remember.
What the hell?
Yeah, he would bring it back and fold it somewhere. You're like, what the hell's going on there?
That dude just put his foot on the shelf.
And one day he cracked it. You didn't know he
did?
cracked his prosthetic leg.
Really?
And that's like your whole day. When you have like you gotta go call people, you gotta go get it taken care of. It's a whole company thing and insurance, and my prosthetic leg broke. That's an all day thing. Your whole day shot.
Could you imagine telling them people, how's the movie going? Oh, well, we had to shut down for a day. Why? Well, the cinematographer broke his prosthetic. That's so wrong, man.
Yeah, but it was a great project. We got distribution for it. It's still online. You can Google some copies. I don't know why. I only had a 10-year distribution deal with the company. So technically all the rights come back to me. So we could remake that movie.
So it was originally His and Hers. Shacked Up is the name they gave it, which is a good name.
Yeah, it's very good.
Shacked Up.
Yeah. It was a very good film. We all came out that way. We didn't make a lot of money with it. Okay, hardly any. Absolutely. But I still had a hard time getting the rights together, the checks together. It was a whole nightmare.
Maybe now you could do something Shacked Up too, and you can have Cat Williams do it.
Can we talk about Three Tables?
We're going to get to Three Tables, one of my favorite projects
After this commercial
in
break.
my life.
No commercial break.
I thought Three Tables was prior to His and Hers.
No.
It was after?
After.
His and Hers, ladies and gentlemen, I think one of my best performances.
Three Tables or His and Hers?
Three Tables.
Three Tables.
Tell us about Three Tables.
Okay, after Shacked Up, I decided to do it again with my own money this time. I wrote a film called Three Tables about 3 different stories that take place at one night in a restaurant. I also got this idea that I can shoot this in one night, a feature film. So we went to a restaurant in Culver City. We had 3 windows to it, and we put 3 different tables there and had 3 different stories, and we put a camera and a dolly track outside on the sidewalk, mic'd the actors inside, and we just kept dollying back and forth through the whole 90 minutes. It was like a a theater play. And that's how we shot the whole movie. Mike played a retired hitman who meets an old friend who eventually wants you to come out of retirement and do her a favor. And I wrote the whole script, and Mike, you played that. I mean, if this was a feature theatrical release, Oscar nominee. I mean, I didn't know you had those. I had a feeling you could do it, but you totally blew the joint off on that one. Amazing.
I remember making this project so vividly. I remember thinking, how in the world is he going to make a movie in one night? And how are we all going to get our lines right every single time? This is going to be very, very difficult. So if you could imagine this, it's one shot, 3 different scenes. So the camera comes down and it's filming this couple. Then it moves, goes to another window, films this couple. Then it moves, goes to the next window, films the next couple, and then goes back, and then back, and then back, with no break, actually.
Yeah, we did the whole thing one time, and then we came back for close-ups, just a few close-ups.
On the inside?
No, we were still on the outside.
Oh, really?
We just zoomed in. And so it looked like close-ups, and I especially wanted to get the coverage from you. And it was a great film. We won a digital filmmaking award. One of the girls who played the actress in the wheelchair, she won the best actress in the Honolulu Film Festival. It was an online film festival, and I thought this was my masterpiece. And when I took it out to get distribution, people wouldn't even look at it, and they would say, well, you should have took longer to make a better movie. Wouldn't even watch it.
But you know what's wild now? I think all this time has passed and certain people have grown in the industry we should put it back somewhere.
so.
I would love to have a clip of me in that movie on social media because I think people are going to be like, wait a minute, that's Marino? Holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
Because I, to this day, can remember the lines that he wrote, especially when I'm sitting there saying, you know, I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not a hitman anymore. And I talk about, you know, the old restaurant and everything is the same.
I would have been
the
a great
wait is the
restaurant
same,
owner,
the
yeah.
food is the same, the menu's the same except for me.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful performance.
I'm the only thing that's changed.
I'm
Something
surprised
like that.
you didn't get like major work behind that clip. Hollywood missed out. I mean, you all missed that out. I mean, you were De Niro in that film.
Well, what we got to do is we got to get that clip and show everybody.
Yeah, if people saw that today, you're going to get more work now today. That's amazing.
How long ago was that?
That had to be 2003, over 20
Really?
years ago.
Man.
Yeah.
Let's get that clip.
Let's get back to
Let's get that
back.
clip,
I don't
man.
have it anymore.
Come on.
It's on DVD. You got a DVD player?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we have to transfer it and get it out, but amazing film.
There's ways to get that stuff now. They got this thing called iMemories where they changed formats from DVD to mini DV
Yeah, we can do that.
to a hard drive.
Well, now with the streaming platforms, they got streaming platforms that are now taking those type of films. They're taking anything. So it's a chance it can get played on Netflix or something like that.
Well, see, that's the thing now. I got a little bit more of a bigger career.
Bigger career.
And people are going to go look at what I've done.
We should reshoot that again.
I don't know if we could reshoot it.
No, we can reshoot it.
I would reshoot it. But I would definitely like to see it on social media.
I can do
Let's make that happen.
You have a copy of it?
I think I do.
I think I have one in my garage. But yeah, if we can bring that back, it'll probably make your career tremendously.
I think I do have it somewhere. I have to have it.
And the star of the movie, the guy named Michael Corey David, he's the guy that's doing those commercials now, playing the doctor coat for the AIDS medication. You seen those
really?
commercials?
No.
He's a guy in the doctors and saying, this is for, if you're suffering from AIDS, take this medicine. He's not a real doctor, but he has a stethoscope.
Really?
And it's a national commercial. If you've seen that commercial about this drug to take if you're HIV positive, I'm not saying he's HIV positive, but he's the doctor now. He shaved his head off, and he didn't shave his head off. He shaved his hair off. And he's the doctor playing that guy. So that's how he's working. That's how he's working.
How about the rest of the cast? You know anything about them? There was
No.
6 of us, right?
Yeah, everybody's gone but you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Show business is
Show
rough,
business
man.
is
I'm
crazy.
lucky. That's why I do stand-up. Stand-up, you create your own career.
And that film put me in my retirement because after I couldn't get any play from that film, I said, this is a tough business. I can't do this anymore. I definitely couldn't put my own money involved into it. I just couldn't do it anymore. And I said, that was the last thing I ever made or wrote after that. And people are trying to tell me you should come back now. And I said, I don't know. And that's how I got to the radio show now.
Well, we're going to move into the radio show and what you're doing now, but I think as a testament to you, making 2 projects like that is almost impossible, and you made it at a time where the world was different. If you were to make those projects now, you're making things on social media, you would have saved a lot more money. You might have been doing it in a different way, different format, maybe even a little bit better. And there's no reason why you can't come out and do it again, because now you got a lot of friends who are making big names for themselves anyway.
And those films, we were making films on digital video before people were doing it.
Right.
Now they're doing it all the time. They're doing it from their cell phones.
Make a cell phone.
And we were doing it, so in a way, I take solace in the fact that we were ahead of the game.
Right.
We were groundbreakers and get 0 credit behind it.
Dude, you could start a Facebook account for His and Hers. You could start a Facebook account for 3 Tables. You could put the videos out on this type of a thing, and it's free.
Yeah.
You might make some money. You might make some noise. Somebody might give you a call. Give it a shot.
If somebody would call you and if someone would call you and give you the major Steven Spielberg film, I would be just happy with that. Mike, just call Mike Moreno. Just give you a job.
Call me.
I'll feel totally fulfilled about that.
Well, your first love of being in radio came back into your life. He has a great radio show. I was on it once. I think once. I should be on it a bunch more times. Tell everybody about where they can listen to it, hear it, and what it's really all about. Dr. J.
How many minutes do we have?
20.
12. Okay. Let me give you some background on this. So, can I take my gum out?
Sure.
Okay. So after I left the film industry, I said, fuck, I need a job. So I got to do something. I got married, had a couple kids, and need to make money.
And he goes on cruises.
And I ended up going on cruises and seeing Mike on a damn cruise, right? Going on a Christmas cruise with
What
my
are the
family.
chances?
And
I'm entertaining on a Christmas cruise, and here comes Jeremy. I'm like, huh?
And I'm like, you snuck on, you bastard. You snuck on. You had to sneak on this shit.
I work on this shit.
So I went back to school. I said, fuck it. Nothing's going on for me in the film industry. I tried one more thing, and it didn't work out. And I said, I'm tired of these people. So I said, I'm going to go back to school, finish my degrees. And I did. I went back to the University of Laverne, finished my bachelor's degree, finished my master's degree. And then I was dumb enough to say, on a dare, applied to a doctoral program at Pepperdine University, Doctor of Education in Organizational Leadership. I didn't know I was that smart. I got in just because people told me I couldn't do it. My sister said, you're not the type, you're not the type. And I said, I'll show you, we'll see. And the only program I applied to was Pepperdine University. I got in. For next 4 years, I worked my ass on a doctorate degree. A major university, not online, Pepperdine University. And I got a doctorate degree, a doctorate of education, organizational leadership and behavior. And that's basically the study of the workplace, how the culture in the workplace, how people hire, how people fire. Did all this work, did a dissertation on racial stereotyping in the workplace, worked my ass off. I actually got anxiety during my dissertation topic. I almost had a nervous breakdown. I cursed out my dissertation chair and everything, and he didn't even mind. It was part of the process, right? So I did all this stuff, and I got a doctorate degree, and I tried to get a job. Guess what? Being a doctoral student is better than being a doctor. It's actually like sex, right? The process of having sex, and then it's fine, and then of course you finish, it's like, oh, what the fuck do I do now?
Right.
So I get a doctorate degree.
Wait a minute. Did you just hear his analogy? It's like sex. You're like, this is great. Oh, what do I do now?
What do I do now? Right? I mean,
sleep.
Do I get something to eat or do I sleep?
Can I have a cookie?
So I couldn't find a job. I spent all this time getting a doctorate degree, and I couldn't find a damn job. And I started doing some consulting for MGM in Las Vegas, leadership consulting. I was that guy with the PowerPoint that comes in and everybody's bored to hell. You would do great at this. Going into companies and talking to people about leadership or group dynamics. I started teaching for a while at for-profit schools, and it was just like, this is not making enough money. It's not working for me. So I had a friend, I got discouraged, and I had a friend named Mark Morris, who I worked in radio with back in the day. Black dude, had a very proper voice, and he talks like this. And he's passed away now.
Oh.
Yeah, good friend of mine. He said, what's your degree in again? I said, organizational behavior, workplace crap. And he said, why don't you do a radio show about that? You used to work in radio, do a radio show. So I never thought about that. I came up with a show called The Workplace Zone. Stupid, right? About workplace issues. Did that for a year, and then all of a sudden I decided to expand it to the Strictly Business show so I can talk more about business. The workplace is lame, right? So I came up with the Strictly Business show.
But the workplace became The Office.
Yes.
Big TV show.
Yes, exactly. It did, but I was trying to just focus on that for the show. I said, I need to expand the business stuff. And that's when I came up with the Strictly Business show, the sexiest business show in the world. So I'm not like CNBC. I don't talk about stocks and finances. I talk about workplace stuff, sports business, show business, all kind of business. So that's what we do now. And it's been working for me. I've been doing it for 4 years. I've gotten some sponsorship. I've gotten paid to do interviews. And it's opened up. I talk about foodie business, even a little cruise ship business. Now, here's a question for you, Mike Moreno. You do comedy on cruise ships.
Yes.
There's a guy named Clive, I want to say Bentley or something. He's a billionaire. He is building a cruise ship that I think you should perform on.
Okay.
Okay. He's going to start building it next year. He's got the money to build it. You know what the name of the cruise is?
What?
Titanic 2.0.
That's crazy.
Yes. He's going to replicate the original Titanic, and from everything, even the amazing grand stairwell that's now at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
He's going to do all that.
the lifeboats.
Yes. And it's not a museum. He's going to actually cruise it from New England to New York, the original route of the Titanic.
Oh, that's scary.
Now, what would be your material on that?
Iceberg, right ahead.
Yeah.
Man, but ask him if he wants to produce his and hers part 2.
Do 2.0.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing. I've been doing that show, and now I'm on a radio outlet app called New HD Media. And let me tell you about that. New HD Media is a nonprofit. We help kids with autism and disabilities get jobs in broadcasting.
Right.
So it's a music station, and we have some kids on there. My son is one, because my son is moderately autistic. He's the morning guy.
Right.
He plays music. He's the DJ in the morning. We have a girl named Emily Payton who's blind and autistic. And through Braille, she's actually able to host her own show. And that's what my show is now. So if you want to donate, it's tax deductible, 501c3 organization. You can go to sophiesmissionus.org. Or you can text New HD to 44321 to contribute. Totally nonprofit.
How does she do it through Braille?
Well, she's able, the beauty of the thing is everybody's able to work from their own studios. We have a software on their laptop.
Oh, wow.
And she is able to do her own Braille thing and announce the songs from there.
No shit.
Yeah. And she's blind and autism, which is a double thing, because, most autistic kids work from their visual. So the fact that she can do it being blind and autistic is really amazing.
Wow.
So we always need contributions. I'm going to send you the link. Maybe you can put it on your website.
All right.
And if people donate like $1,000, a female donate $1,000, you can have a threesome with Dr. J and Mike Moreno. You can't be over 400 pounds, though. And you have to be a naturally born woman. Or maybe if somebody contributes something, you can do a free T-shirt or something, a Mike Moreno T-shirt or something.
I'll help you in any way I
Yeah.
can. I hope that we could go back on set and make 3 Tables 2.0.
That would be nice. I think we can. Somebody did call me yesterday. One of the actresses did reach out through Kevin Grievix and said, do you have a copy of it? I've met some other actresses and actors that at a dinner party last Friday night at maybe one of your future guests is Patricia Ray's house, and I met a bunch of actors at a dinner party, and I told them I used to make films. And they're like, why'd you stop? And I said, that's hard finding the right people. And they're like, well, you got actors sitting here. So faith is kind of leaning me there to the point where it's like doors are opening up where people are like, maybe you should do this again. It's a possibility.
I find in my world right now, I'm getting more work than I ever wanted in my entire life, and it's all coming back from people from the past.
Is that right?
Yup.
Is that
Hey, man,
right?
you still doing what you're doing? Yeah. How about you? Yeah, this is what I'm doing. I'm like, no shit.
What keeps you going?
And what keep...
Because you go. From the moment I met you, you nonstop.
Yeah.
I know you're not married, you don't have kids. That's a good help. That's a big help. But you keep going.
I don't know. I guess because I love what I do so much. Think about it. The average guy in this world, let's say he's a construction worker, and he gets to 58, 59, 60, he starts thinking, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to retire. I don't want to go to work anymore. They don't look forward to going to work, or maybe they work at Home Depot or some shit, and they don't look forward to going to work. I look forward to going to work. I want to go. It's my buddy. Don't worry about it.
Like, so I'm breaking it. Let me get my stuff.
You've been had.
Oh, man. You're going to get shot coming up in here. God.
No, I look forward to it so much that why would I stop? Why would I stop?
Because it's hard. It sucks. It's a tough business.
It's a rough business. Sometimes you wonder, of course, why did somebody get something and I didn't get it? Why am I where I am? But when I think about, and I try not to think about it too much, there's a lot of people wish they were doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. I'm now in my, I'm a Gen Xer. And I know friends from high school who are finally retired.
Right.
And they don't know what the hell to do with their life anymore.
Right.
They have nothing to look forward to. They got their retirement, but they're like, I still got years left.
Right.
What do I do? Where I'm lost. And at least I can say I'm still moving forward. I'm still trying to get to where I'm going. So I'd rather be chasing something than be retired and have nothing to do. And then you die.
Well, see, the thing is, if you get close to yourself, retirement, why retire when you could go back into showbiz?
Yeah.
You don't have to wait for anybody to tell you what to do. You don't have to wait for somebody to say, you need an agent, you need a manager, you need this, you need that. No, you actually need friends. And you have to have a little bit of a goal on how you want to do what you do. You did it before. You could do it again. You're probably going to be a hell of a lot better now than you were then because you're not going to make the mistakes. You'll get involved with people you actually want to be around. Look at the chemistry we have.
Yeah.
We've been friends a really long time. Remember, I used to do my mixers over at the restaurant, and I was trying like crazy to get people to just throw something against the wall and make a project happen. 90% of those people are not in show business anymore.
right.
Then the other 10%, of course, maybe they just do this as a hobby.
Yeah.
This is not my hobby. This is all I do. So to stay in the game, I created a podcast. This
Yeah.
is doing really, really great. I'm having fun. So look what I do. I call my friends. Hey, look what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Come on the show. You never know what's going to happen. The day that this airs, somebody might look at you and say, hey, I want to be on that show he's talking about, or my kid is autistic and I would like to talk to him, and maybe I'll donate to that. So you just keep on going with it.
Yeah. And you don't need a lot of the things you used to need. Like distribution was a thing.
Right?
Social media. You got just YouTube distribution.
Come on, man. My first album was on VHS.
Right? You don't need an
VHS.
agent or a manager. You've been doing all this stuff. You could teach a class on how to live this life.
Yeah.
Because your hustle is
Just
amazing.
sounds like a mob boss. You could live the life.
Mike Moreno's hustle is amazing. All these years, this guy, I mean, when I see you on social media, I'm so impressed with all the things you are doing. I'm like, where do you get the energy? I mean, you're not a young guy, but you got a lot of energy like a 22-year-old. You're like just all over the place.
I love getting on stage. I like traveling. I like touring. I like people. I like being around people. My social media, of course, is Tatiana, who produces the show, Tatiana Blue Show.
Sexy
She's
Tatiana.
the producer.
Oh, God. Hot piece.
Stop that.
Hot piece, boy, I tell you.
Well, not only does Tatiana produce the podcast, she produced the show Make America Italian Again.
She produces so much.
She does that with her husband, Cody Boyson. Did you even ever meet Tatiana?
Yes.
You did?
The lights are out, though. I didn't see.
All right, we'll be right back after this commercial break. Let's go to Walmart. Tell everybody where they can actually really listen into the show, Dr. J.
Okay, my Instagram is strictlydrj.com. Strictly DOCTORJ.com. I'm a real doctor. Somebody said, "Are you a real doctor?" Yes, a doctor of education. That's my Instagram. But you can go, my website is strictlydrj.com. Did I just say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all right.
Instagram is strictly Dr. J. My website is strictly Dr. J, strictly DOCTORJ.com, and you can listen to past shows there. Every morning at 5 a.m., if you're up that early, you can go to newhdmedia.com and listen to me live in real time. But support New HD. You know, a lot of people, and let me just say this right quick, Mike, as a parent of kids with autism, a lot of these kids get out of high school and they don't have jobs. They have nowhere to go. And I never thought my son would be following my footsteps in broadcasting. I just discouraged it. And the fact that he could do it, this is what we're trying to do, because a lot of these kids get jobs bagging groceries. And the stores don't even pay them for that. The stores pay like $2 an hour, and the state pays the rest of the money.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So these kids don't even, these companies aren't, they act like they're doing a good thing. They really aren't. They're just getting cheap labor. So this is a way to support these kids and young adults, and also disabled veterans. We do that as well, who are looking for jobs, who can't work, a physical handicap or something. So this is a 501c3 organization. So please support it. It's tax deductible.
That's unbelievable, and that's beautiful. I'm glad you're doing what you're doing. There was something else I wanted to ask you about.
And I'm special needs too.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. Or is he needy?
What do you want to ask me next?
I don't know.
Tatiana?
What is the future of... No, you said doctor of business.
Education.
Doctor of education. That's a real thing?
Yes.
I didn't
like
know that.
Jill Biden. Jill Biden is a doctor of education.
Is that right?
Yeah, the doctor of philosophy is a PhD, and the doctor of education. The difference is the PhDs, they just come up with anything out of their ass. They'll show you how to hang an elephant from your finger or something like that. Theoretical. Doctor of education, actually, we're very practical. We take what we learn and we put it in practice.
Right.
So that's the big difference.
Jamie Masada, the owner of the Laugh Factory in Hollywood, calls the comedians doctors of the soul. I'm a doctor. I'm a doctor of the soul. We can heal you by making you laugh.
Oh, I want to ask you, are
Sure.
you planning to go to the Laugh Factory in Vegas, in Tropicana anytime soon?
Well, they're imploding it.
Yes, they are. Business.
Why did that make you so happy?
Because
It's one of the last
business.
Dude, it's one of the last of the original casinos in Las Vegas.
70 years.
The Tropicana's going
1957.
down.
Now, do you know why?
Because they're going to build a football field?
No, the Oakland A's are moving out of Oakland to join the Raiders in Vegas, and they're going to put a new baseball stadium there.
Okay, so I was wrong by a game.
The wrong sport.
Yeah, wrong sport.
Yeah, because Oakland is so bad now in crime that everybody's moving out.
Really?
Yeah, In-N-Out. The only In-N-Out in Oakland is shutting down next week because of the crime.
The only In-N-Out burger?
Only In-N-Out Burger in Oakland is shutting down. The only Denny's in Oakland is shutting down. Okay, because of crime. 4 Taco Bells have shut down. do criminals eat? It's like, geez. And Kaiser, what do these guys eat if they're destroying the places to eat at? And Kaiser in downtown Oakland is telling their employees in an email, do not go out to lunch because you may not make it back. So this is Oakland.
Bad? Oakland?
Oakland is that bad that you can't even go out to lunch on your lunch break. You can have lunch, but you have to stay in.
Could you imagine crime so bad it took over an area where the football field said, let's get out of here.
Let's
The
get out of
football
here.
team.
And those are
Wow.
the things I talk about on the Strictly Business Show, business stuff like that.
Well, I never go down to like the Staples Center. I'll never go down and see a baseball game. I don't want to get killed.
No, not down. It's crazy down there.
Right?
It's crazy. I would never do that.
Especially if the Lakers win. What if the Lakers won? We're gonna get shot at.
Well, people don't realize that it's not even the Staples Center now. That stupid name, Crypto.com Arena.
Is it?
Yeah,
I'm not familiar with it.
it's the Staples.
I
They
know the
renamed it
Staples
3 years
Center.
ago.
I ain't going there.
It's called, but that arena is only what, 3 blocks from Skid Row. It's like if you park too far from the Laker game, you're gonna be stepping over bums and come back and your car will be on blocks. That's how close it is to the Staples Center. So when you have Lakers celebrating, people paying $200 a ticket, then all of a sudden, have you ever sat on the floor of the Laker game? I sat on the floor of the Laker game one time. I met a guy in the Southwest Airlines who I saved a seat. Big dude. He said, I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to get you tickets to a Laker game when Kobe was playing. He said, do you want to sit in the box or do you want to sit on the floor? I said, I never sat on the floor before. So I'll sit on the floor. $400 tickets. Now, the seats aren't that much bigger, but the women, amazing. And the thing about it, when you got a $400 seat, the women look at you because they know those are $400 seats.
Oh, wow.
So you get chicks. So if you can sit on the floor seat just for one night and pay $400 for a ticket, you're gonna get major action. Now, you got to close the deal that night because once you realize that you don't have $400 in your pocket,
You're just a
in
bum.
your bank account, you're gonna be in trouble. But the women are better there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll take you to a game one night.
I can't wait to go see a game. Listen, we need to sign off, man. This has been one hell of an educational type show with my man, Dr. J. Jeremy, well, I can't say your name.
Dr. J.
Dr. J. Got to keep it secret. Let's hope and pray that he brings 3 tables back to the internet and also his and hers so we can actually watch me and David Arnold
Yeah.
in a nice scene together.
maybe we can come up with a storyline for 2. Maybe David's character had a kid with the chick.
Yeah.
And we'll get some kid that looks like David Arnold, and we'll pay a nice tribute to him.
Yeah, we'll get a cameo from Cat in the Hat.
Yeah.
Cat Williams.
I would love to pull that together.
Well, listen, my man, thank you so much for coming over.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you, everybody, for watching live from my mother's basement exclusively on my YouTube channel, which is Mike Marino Live on YouTube. Let me thank my producer, Tatiana.
Tatiana, call me. Call me again.
For always making us have a great guest and a great show. We're not only just on the internet, you can see us on Spotify. You know, you can watch videos on Spotify now.
Really?
Yeah. We're also on Italian American radio in New York City. So thank you so much for coming down to the show. Remember, everybody, let's make America Italian again. You know my motto: you don't know nothing, you don't see nothing, you don't say nothing. And how do I end every single one of my podcasts? By saying the same thing along with my guest. It's don't take no shit with nobody. You ready?
With nobody or no from nobody?
Take no shit. Don't take no shit from nobody.
Okay.
Yeah, ready?
Yeah. Don't take no shit from nobody.
Hey folks, thanks for watching live from my mother's basement. I hope you enjoyed the show. And if you did, hit the word like and leave me a really cool comment. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any of the future episodes, and you can watch some of the funniest videos on the internet. You can also listen to the show on Spotify or your favorite podcast app.